Good morning, students. Welcome back once again. This is Sujit sir, and today we are going to learn a lesson on preposition. Now, students, as we all know, prepositions can be classified into three kinds: simple prepositions, compound prepositions, and complex prepositions, which are also called phrase prepositions or prepositional phrases. Now in today's class, we will discuss simple prepositions only. Now students, we can again classify simple prepositions into two kinds. One of which is known as appropriate prepositions, and the other one is the one that we place according to situations and conditions. Now students, you must have seen that there are certain prepositions which are never changed. These prepositions are followed by certain verbs, nouns and adverbs. So in case of appropriate prepositions, it is a matter of memorizing and using them. But in case of other simple prepositions, we should know some rules and we should know how they are used in sentences. Let us therefore move ahead and see how the other simple prepositions are used in sentences. Simple prepositions. Now students, what do we mean by simple prepositions? Let us see. Simple prepositions are short words used to determine a relation between a noun or a pronoun with any other noun or pronoun in a sentence. Therefore, simple prepositions are used to establish a connection or a relation between a noun or a pronoun with any other word in a sentence. Let us now have a look at some of the examples of simple prepositions. Now these short words like from, in, with, to, by, about, etc. are always used in sentences. You are all familiar with these short words and you always use these words in your sentences. So these words which are used to show a relation between a noun or a pronoun with any other word in a sentence are called simple prepositions. Now we shall discuss how these prepositions are used in sentences. Now before further discussion, let me remind you students, a preposition may have more than one use, and we shall discuss each of the uses of these prepositions. Let us now discuss the first preposition, by. We all know it is a simple preposition. Now we have to keep in mind that the preposition by has more than one use. Let us now discuss the first use of by. By is used to show a difference. Now what kind of difference? Let us have a look at this picture. Suppose that a football match was played between two teams. One of the teams was Argentina and the other one was France. And let us suppose that Argentina scored 4 goals and 2 goals were scored by France. So the difference between the number of goals scored by each of the teams is 2. Argentina scored 4 goals and France scored 2 goals. Therefore, the difference in their score may be shown with the help of the preposition by. Now let us see what the sentence will be. Argentina defeated France by 2 goals. So the preposition by is showing the difference in the goals that the two teams scored. Let us now see what the next use of by is. The preposition by can again be used to show what means or how. What do I mean to say? How a particular thing is performed, with what means or how. Let us have a look at this picture. In this picture, we find some children and they are going to school or returning back from school. Now the mode of their transportation is a school bus. So what means do they use to come back from school or go to school? It is the school bus. So we can write, they go to school by bus. Let us see the third use of by. By is sometimes used to show an indefinite time. Let us have a look at this picture. Now we find the time to be 1 o'clock. Now if we use I shall reach by 1 p.m., it denotes that it might be about 10 minutes before or after. Which means if you use the preposition by before a particular time, it means the time is not definite. You may reach a few minutes earlier or after 1 o'clock. So there is always a possibility of reaching before or after, but not at the exact time. It means the speaker is not assuring that he will reach exactly at 1 o'clock. The time may slightly differ from what is mentioned by the speaker. Now let us see the next use of by. Now by may sometimes be used for showing nearness or beside. Now this picture will make your concept more clear. In this picture, we find a grandmother and a granddaughter. Now look at the position where the granddaughter is sitting. She is sitting just by the side of her grandmother. So we can use it in this way. The little girl is sitting by her grandmother. Means the little girl is sitting by the side of her grandmother. Therefore, to show nearness or beside something or someone, the simple preposition by may be used. Now let us discuss the next preposition. With. Now what is the use of with? It is used to show some means or by what, by whom or by what a particular action is performed. Now have a look at this picture. In this picture, we find a boy writing something on a piece of paper. Now what the boy is using to write on it? It is a pen or a pencil. So such a kind of means may be shown with the help of the simple preposition with. Now look at this example. He writes with a pen. So the pen is the means with which he is writing. So such means by which we do something can be shown with the help of the preposition with. Now let us look at one more use of with. With is sometimes used to show relationship. Now look at this image. The child is there with his parents. So such a kind of relationship can be shown with the help of the preposition with. The child lives with his parents. Now let us go to the next preposition. On. What is the use of on? Now the preposition on can be used if we find something having a physical contact and the thing referred to here must be supported by a surface. Now look at this picture. There is a book which has been kept on the table. So the book is in physical contact with the table and the book is supported by the surface of the table. So in such a situation, we can use the preposition on. Now let us look at an example. The book is on the table. So if we find similar situations, we can use the preposition on. Now let us discuss the next preposition. Over. Now where can we use over? Over can be used if it describes a point generally higher. Now this picture will make you understand in a better way. Now the aeroplane is flying over a city. So we find the aeroplane at a higher level than that of the city. So in such a case, we can use the preposition over. Now look at this example. The aeroplane is flying over the city. Therefore, something that is shown generally at a higher level can be described with over. Now let us see the next preposition. Above. Now where can we use above? It describes a point directly higher. Now in the previous one, students, we have seen that over is used where it describes a point generally higher. It need not be directly higher. So something which is exactly above your head can be shown with the help of above. Now look at this picture. There is a ceiling fan. And now we find a boy standing just below it. It means the ceiling fan is exactly above his head. So it is denoting a point which is directly higher. Now look at the example. The fan is moving above his head. In, which is a very common preposition. Let us see what it is. In can be used for a situation of something being enclosed or surrounded by. Now look at this image first. We find a tall tree in the garden. Now the garden is an enclosed area of land. So something which we find in an enclosed area can be shown with the help of in. So we can write here, students, there is a tall tree in the garden. So in this way we can use the preposition in. Now into. Where should we use into? Let us see. It expresses a movement or action. When an object is shown in motion or in movement, we can use into. Now look at this image first. We find the frog in a movement or in a motion. So in this case, we can use the preposition into. Now let us see an example. The frog jumped into the pond. Therefore, we have to remember, students, Into can be used only when the subject is in motion or in movement. At. Now the preposition at has several uses. It is used to indicate place, time, location, etc. Look at this picture. It is an image of a small town. So when you indicate some smaller places, you can use the preposition at. Like, he lives at Shyamnagar. Now Shyamnagar is a small town, not as big as Kolkata. So for such smaller places, we can use the preposition at. Now here in this clock, the time is 5. So in order to show a definite time, we can use at. Like, I shall come at 5 o'clock. It means the speaker will reach exactly at 5 o'clock. He will neither be late nor come earlier. So whenever we use at, it denotes an exact time. Now sometimes at may be used to show a particular location. A lady is found to be working at her desk. Now it seems to be her office. So office indicates a particular location. Therefore we can use at in such a case. We can write, she is at office. From. Now the preposition from is as common as the other prepositions. We use it very often. Now where do we exactly use it? The preposition from is used to indicate the starting point of a particular process, event or action. So it denotes the starting point of something. Have a look at this picture. The boy seems to be returning home. And what the starting point is? It is his school. Therefore, we can use from in such a situation. We can write, he is returning from school. So school is the starting point where the boy has started walking from. Therefore, we can use from here. For. Now let us discuss where should we use for. It is used to indicate duration or time. Now we find in this image a man is walking. So if we would like to show the duration of his walking, how long he has been walking, we have to use for. Like, he has been walking for a week. So the duration of his walking is almost a week. So in such situations where the time or the duration has to be shown, we can use for. Now the next use of for. It is sometimes used to specify the use of something, or it shows the purpose. Why you are doing that? What is your objective? Let us have a look at this picture first. The boy is studying, and if you look at the clock, it is quite late. It is almost 1:30, and the boy is reading. Suppose that he is preparing his lessons for his examination. Therefore, he has a purpose, he has an objective, he must be working hard to score good marks. Therefore, in such a situation, we can use for. Now look at this example. He is working hard for a better result. So whenever you would like to show a particular purpose, you can use for. Now the next preposition of. Let us see how it is used. It is used to indicate belonging. To whom does something belong? Now this is the national flag of India and we all know it. Now which country does this flag belong to? We must say that this is the national flag of India. So wherever we indicate some kind of belonging, some kind of possession, we have to use the simple preposition of. Now to. Where do we use to? To is used to indicate direction. What kind of direction? Let us have a look at this picture first. We find someone going towards the church. So her direction is towards the church. So in such a situation where some kind of direction is indicated, we can use the preposition to. Now let us look at this example. She is walking to the church. Therefore the direction in which she is walking ends at the church. So we have discussed most of the common simple prepositions. I hope all of you have understood it. Now you have to practice as much as you can. See you all in the next class. Thank you.